Okay. All right, good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. So pleased that we have Gurveer Dinza joining us. I'm Joy Lim Nakaran. And I think people are in really good spirits after Easter.
Yeah, you know what? It was a beautiful weekend, right? The temperatures are finally warm. A lot of people, of course, celebrated in their place of worship yesterday, Resurrection Day, as a lot of people call it. But imagine having a tornado destroy your church. Well, that's exactly what happened 1 year ago to Bethel Baptist Church, which is in Cobb County. There was an EF3 tornado that came through and just leveled that church last year. And of course, as you would imagine, the spirits of the congregation must have really been hurt deeply. That Easter, 1 year ago, after the tornado, the congregation decided to worship outside. But in the 1 year between that time and this year, they've actually rebuilt the church. They were able to worship inside a brand new sanctuary over the weekend, and Bridget Spencer traveled to West Point for the worship service.
March 26, 2023 was a day Edward Kelly will never forget.
We had no church, so the preacher asked me if we could salvage it, and I told him no, it was gone.
That day, a powerful tornado ripped through Cobb County, leveling homes and businesses. One of those buildings was Bethel Baptist Church in West Point. Thankfully, nobody was inside.
Totally demolished the church, caved the roof in. The kitchen, the roof was completely gone.
The church, built in 1942, was a total loss. But members didn't dwell on the devastation. Last Easter, they held service outside in a tent in the cold, immediately after the storm. Pastor Christopher Hendricks said he would make sure that they rebuild.
We are going to build back. We've got a lot of changes we're going to make with the build back and the layout of things.
And they did just that in a year, reopening just days before Easter 2024.
We have a very small congregation here, but everybody jumped in there and just built the church.
Small but mighty. The church says Easter Sunday was a success. Well, the church was one of many buildings that was destroyed. This actually used to be a motel. This really shows just how much people are still trying to get their lives back on track. Edward Kelly has seen some neighbors come and go.
And they just moved on with their life somewhere. So, it's sad.
But on this Easter, Bethel Baptist members are celebrating a resurrection of hope and optimism that continues to reverberate throughout West Point as people rebuild their lives.
We got a great church and hope it grows and we can fill all these pews up.
In Cobb County, Bridget Spencer, Atlanta, News First.
Thanks so much to Bridget for that report. And, really just in time for Easter, that rebuilding couldn't be more welcome. Okay, let's talk about this beautiful sunrise and this beautiful sunrise service in Stone Mountain in DeKalb County. It's an annual event. Organizers say it was one of the largest crowds, though, in recent years this past Easter. Atlanta News First reporter Patrick Quinn made the trek up the mountain as the Metro Atlanta faith community connected at the cross.
Bad news everywhere you turn, and we have the ultimate good news today. So it's a joy to be able to focus on good news on Easter morning.
The sun sneaking over the Atlanta skyline with 21-mile-per-hour winds, thousands crowded on top of Stone Mountain for its 78th annual Easter sunrise service, including Sean Michael Reed and his family from Lawrenceville.
It's just the energy you get from being up here, seeing the sunrise, being with other believers, and everyone making that same sacrifice. It just makes you feel like connected to everything.
A community connected in a world often defined by division. We spoke with Pastors Bryant Wright and Crawford Loritz as the bells tolled before the sun broke.
But I think it's significant that Crawford and I are preaching this service together when you think about even the racial history of events around Stone Mountain and even the carving on the side of the mountain. It's significant that you have two pastors, black and white, that are proclaiming the good news of Jesus Christ, and we're very thankful to do that together.
The sunrise service tradition at Stone Mountain started back in 1944. Nearly 80 years later, it continues with an interdenominational service at 1,683 feet above sea level, delivering messages of serenity, perspective, and peace.
We're all going through hard times, and with that collective energy and with us still wanting to be better and praying together, it's just a powerful experience.
From Stone Mountain, Patrick Quinn, Atlanta News First.
All right, I want to turn now to the story out of Cobb County. And a single mom who you're looking at right now, she went from sleeping in a Walmart parking lot to finding a permanent home for her family. And she's sharing her story exclusively with Atlanta News First Asia Wilson. She is actually crediting One Metro Group with getting her and her 2 young daughters off the streets.
Our new place?
It's a picturesque moment Raven O'Bannon doesn't take for granted.
Our living room.
That's because just months ago,
I was sleeping in a Walmart parking lot for like a month.
it was not this single mother of 2 little girls. Reality.
I would go to school, go to work, go to sleep in my car, wake up, go to Planet Fitness to take a shower. I had really fallen into a sunken place. I needed help.
She was homeless for more than a year and a half after the COVID-19 pandemic.
That was my lowest point.
She reached out to the Center for Family Resources. The nonprofit recently expanded its Cobb County Homeless Alliance program after seeing an exponential rise in housing prices and families struggling to make ends meet.
We've seen properties go from $200 to $400 a month increases at lease renewals for families, and their incomes aren't keeping pace with that.
CEO Melanie Kagan says their data shows for the 2022-2023 school year, there were about 1,500 students considered homeless in Cobb County schools and close to 500 kids in Marietta City schools.
52 to 54% of those students are living in hotels.
It's one reason why they've partnered with an organization called Open Doors to help families get permanent housing quickly.
Open Doors is a community partnership of real estate experts.
This group acts as negotiators.
We're going out into the apartment communities advocating.
And was key in finding Raven her new home at a subsidized rate.
Different apartment properties that were willing to work with Raven and her rental barriers.
While the homeless battlefield was a long one for Raven, everything changed for her in 2 months.
I thank God every day for people like Miss Karen. I overcame homelessness.
Because she held on to hope for a new life.
I want somebody to know that you can overcome it.
A rewritten story she's now using to help others.
And I know that it might be really hard, but there's a rainbow at the end. Don't give up.
In Cobb County, Asia Wilson, Atlanta News First.
Thanks so much to Asia for that report, and what a life change for that woman, the mom, and her 2 children. Okay, let's talk about the solar eclipse that so many people are anticipating. In just over a week now, a total eclipse is going to be visible across parts of the U.S. And if you're thinking of traveling to one of the places in the path of totality, get ready for crowds and also high prices. Robbie Owen shows us how much a glimpse of the eclipse will actually cost.
From restaurants in Little Rock, Arkansas,
bringing in extra food, of course. Number one, we're getting more.
To stores in Burlington, Vermont.
Gas stations, restaurants, that kind of thing, they're going to be packed.
Cities and towns in the path of a rare total solar eclipse are preparing to welcome millions of people who will be looking up at the sky and also looking for places to stay and eat.
It'll be a long day, for sure. It'll be all hands on deck.
For those thinking of traveling to an eclipse location, get ready for blinding prices. Average flights to Little Rock are more than $600, Buffalo more than $700, and a ticket to Montreal is nearly $1,200.
Coming to the Dallas-Fort Worth area will cost even more. Prices for flights landing here the day before the eclipse are almost $1,900.
There is a cheaper option. Fly to Nashville for around $340 and then drive 3 hours west to the path of totality. However, lodging won't be cheap.
We've seen a surge in demand for hotels.
Hopper lead economist Haley Berg says some cities are seeing prices 500% higher than normal. A stay in Buffalo the night before the eclipse is more than $900.
consider staying at hotels outside of the path of totality and driving into the path in the afternoon on Monday. That way you'll pay a lower rate but can still experience the eclipse.
Berg says if you want to go, make those plans now before the rates go even higher. Robbie Owens, CBS News, Fort Worth, Texas.
And there's so much interest in this. You know, we actually have a special on the eclipse, which is going to be happening next Monday at 2 p.m. right here on Atlanta News First Plus. So we're going to talk all about it. You know, what's the science behind it? Where are the best places to watch it? We're going to talk about all of that coming up next Monday here on Atlanta News First Plus. All right, thanks so much for being with us. If you haven't done so yet, please download our free app to get all the latest updates on weather and top stories sent right to your phone.